So Sam, a lot of brands are reluctant in creating video content, right? I mean, or podcasts. I've been talking about this on all my content. If you go to a lot of companies, their YouTube channel is empty. They haven't posted anything. Maybe they posted a 30-second corporate video like 2 years ago. Why is that?
I think, perfection is the enemy of good. Oftentimes they want a high quality, highly produced,
Would you say you fall into that category?
I am also guilty of that. And
Okay.
oftentimes, sometimes I think trying to be super produced, you fall behind and you never get around to actually
Would you
producing
say
anything.
making a video on iPhone is better than not having any videos?
Most certainly.
I think iPhones are capable of producing pretty nice quality videos. You'd be
Most certainly.
surprised.
Yeah, and especially if you're in a place where your product or service is hard to explain and you can't get people to understand the concept, you probably just need to explain it over a video. And video could be something that you use, in the sales process, in the support process, and even in customer service process. In so many different areas, you can leverage video.
Can you speak to video and prospecting? Because I know you know a lot about that.
Yeah, especially if you're in the prospecting mode and more people are, ignoring cold calls, and people are inundated with getting cold emails that are not super personalized. But if you're able to create a video, you look at their company or their business problem, if you already know their industry challenges, then you look up the person on LinkedIn and speak to that person, call out their name, and tell them exactly how your solution can help solve their business challenge. They will give you more attention than if you just send them a
Automated,
blanket
robotic.
email.
Right.
And
It's not even
because I'm
personalized.
like, okay, this guy took the time to know me and my business. Even if I'm not in the market, I actually took a note of who he is and may recognize his face if I ever see that picture in LinkedIn or if I see his face in some crowded space. So I think that's the value of actually leveraging video, because you're actually starting to build that relationship with that person before you ever physically met them.
And any other tidbits on what brands can do, especially as they're getting started. And I think video production's costs have gone down. I mean, it's easy, it's cheap, right? I mean, you can get cameras for hundreds of dollars. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and I think, people are afraid of, all the platforms that we think about today, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and even your own blog, all requires content.
Right.
And people are getting they're getting inundated with so much information they don't have time to sit there and read, but they rather watch something because it's a lot easier. You can do it at 2x the speed and get the concept in a much more digestible manner. So because of that, if you can create video, you can distribute that at almost any platforms like Instagram, like LinkedIn, because
Right.
all of those
Facebook,
actually takes
YouTube.
video.
Right.
And on Instagram, you couldn't use anything but pictures and videos anyway. So you want to leverage video, and I think that's probably one of the main value of video is that you can pretty much use it on any platform in terms of sharing. And you can even still use in your own email marketing and
Right.
send them a link to a
in-
YouTube video.
In email marketing, if you just put a video image, it increases click-through rate
Yeah,
significantly.
and you can
I
have
don't-
GIF animation too now inside email, so you can kind of start seeing some of the motion, and people actually can click through and go to wherever that is hosted.
Let me ask you another question. So there's YouTube to host your video if it's corporate. There's things like Wistia and all these different companies. When do you use any one of them and why?
I think
when
it
do
really
you use Vidyard to host your videos versus Wistia versus any one of them?
it's when you really get into the scaling and also the analytics aspect of it is when I think any of those third-party platforms become useful. If you're using Vidyard or Wistia, it's usually because you're integrating that with some sort of a sales automation or marketing automation tool set. So if you're using a sales automation tool, you need to be able to personalize video at scale, and also you need to have some analytics on which video performed the best. And if you're using marketing automation, you want to see view throughs, you want to see how long they watch the specific videos, and then also on what section of the video they skipped or jumped. So you want to have such analytics, and then YouTube is probably not your best bet.
Right.
YouTube is definitely the place to be if you want to get found on search engines, specifically in YouTube, and provide a lot of valuable information.
And you still get a lot of analytics
on
on YouTube as well.
You can, but I think you have
Not
a
at
little bit
the
more
individual
control.
level. Not at the individual
Exactly.
level.
You would not have the personal personal data in terms of who watched it, how long they watched it, and then also you can have call to actions on Wistia videos and capture email addresses, and at a certain length, after they watch a certain length, you can prompt them with an email as a call to action, and people can submit the form and then capture that and then help them, let them watch the remainder of the video. So there's a lot more controlling and obviously analytics that comes with using a third-party tool.
All right, that's pretty advanced. What do you want to tell the most basic user? Where do they go from here for making video content?
Man, know your audience, figure out what their questions are, start answering those questions on YouTube, and start embedding those into your website, so it increases engagement, it increases time on site. It also helps them get to the core of your solutions in a much more convenient and quicker way.
Cool, man. Thank you.